Hey everyone, I'm excited to share with you how I build mini money making offers and how they work for me and for my advertising customers. So, I think the easiest way to get people to work with you is to provide value from day one.
Wow.
And this system I'm going to talk about today allows you to do that. It can take care of lead generation, it can take care of lead qualification, and it can even take care of your pre sales process if you implement it correctly. But the best part is you can make a profit from it as long as you implement it and build out your system before you start. So, first, who am I? Why does that matter? And why should you listen to me? My name's Sean. I have an online English teaching business, and I really wish when I started this in 2018 that I could look back and say, yeah, everything was smooth sailing. But the truth of the matter is, it wasn't. And I bet for most entrepreneurs, when they start a business, it probably doesn't go as they expect from the beginning. So here's a little bit about my business. I got my first customer in 2019, almost a year after I started my business. I didn't understand the importance or how to build a client acquisition system until around 2021. I built that system. It had bad copy until 2022. And I didn't make my first 10K in a month until a couple months before 2023. That's about 6 years in business where I was unable to get customers and I had to work for other businesses rather than focus on mine. So I used to think, as you probably do, that scaling with advertising was impossible. And that's mainly because as an entrepreneur, you're probably working by yourself or with a very small team. You're probably taking care of marketing, advertising, building courses, and your schedule is really, really full. But my goal with advertising was to make my life easier, as yours probably is. So I'm going to tell you how I'm doing it and how you can do it as well. And as I'm going through this, I want you to keep one number in your head, and that number is 20, because everything I'm telling you can be completed in 20 hours a week or less. And the biggest thing about this system, which is the most important, is it's going to help you repel freebie seekers and help you attract buyers. Before I go into this a bit more, I have a question for you. Do you think having a large list of people who don't buy your services or a small list of people who do buy your services is more valuable for your business? I know for me, it's the small list of buyers. And there's a lot of psychology that goes into these two types of customers, and I'm going to go over it very quickly. When we have a list of freebie seekers, these people are usually overwhelmed. So what they do is they look for businesses that offer many freebies and they take, take, take. We want more! But once they take, they usually don't go through those materials. So they end up gaining dust in a digital file, never to be seen again. But if you sell something very small, let's say, for example, £3, maybe $5, people who invest money in something are usually going to go through it. And they're going to also have a time investment as well. So, as you can probably guess, the people who will buy something for a very small price are better to have on your list. Now, conversion rates can still be quite low when somebody buys something small, but the reason why is different. When we think about a freebie seeker, their mindset is not, do I have the time to go through this course that I'm about to purchase, or do I have time to work with this business that's offering me an amazing deal? They're overwhelmed. That's why they're taking so many freebies. They're overwhelmed with everything they're seeing and they don't know where to start. On the other hand, if you work with somebody who makes a small purchase with you first, their mindset and the reason conversion rates are low with them is completely different. These people are trying to understand if they have the time and the resources to complete your program or work alongside you to get the result that they want. This ecosystem is going to help you repel freebie seekers who don't have time and aren't willing to put in time to work with you. But on the other hand, it's also going to attract those who do. This is important because buyers keep you in business, freebie seekers do not. So, what I'm talking about is a micro money making offer. Just so you have something running on autopilot. And this has many advantages. First, it's going to increase your brand awareness through recency. It's going to automate your prospecting, and it's also going to weed out people who don't want to work with you. And this all starts with a promise. But what do I mean by a promise? It's just a small offer that'll reduce your anxiety as you create a micro money making offer. Here are some examples of that. So we have Alex Catoni's Write and Ignite Challenge, where the promise is to learn to write high converting sales page in just 5 days. Then we have SketchWow, which is to create fast, simple sketches to visualize your plans. And then finally, Laurel Portier's online ads like this done for you for $7 a month. Here's where many people get confused. Your promise does not have to be big or extravagant. It just has to make an impact on the person that it's reaching. The core thing that most people want is speed. Help people feel certain or let them know how you can speed up a process and they will want to work with you. If you're like me, as you're creating this, you're probably feeling some imposter syndrome. But here's the truth: you don't need to be an industry leading expert in order to help other people. You do need to be able to help someone with this approach, but you don't need to be in Forbes and you don't have to be featured in some big business publication. You just have to have enough expertise to help somebody who is reaching out to you. Next thing you need to do is understand what you're doing with your offer. And this is where an ecosystem for advertising really comes in. When people talk about content marketing, you probably hear a couple of these hot topic words: blog posts, YouTube videos, adverts or advertising copy, and then probably landing pages or squeeze pages, right? And many new business owners get very confused about these different terms. And the reason why is because they don't understand an ecosystem. If you don't have an ecosystem, you don't understand where each one of these elements comes into play or how they work to push people who buy your micro mini money making offer into higher paying clients. You will never be able to ascend them because you don't understand in the long game where all of these pieces come together. Your ecosystem is where all of your buyers and potential clients end up. Why is this important? If loads of people buy your stuff, but you don't have an ecosystem to communicate, those buyers are going to leave your ecosystem and go to someone else's. So your ecosystem is essentially like your baby, and you need to nourish it, feed it, make yourself seen, and help people that are in this system every day. People always focus on building quickly, but that's a worn approach that people have always focused on, because when you're talking about money, if you don't have any, the thing you want to do is focus on getting as much money as fast as possible, right? And this is something that is really confusing for me because a lot of marketers are like high ticket, high ticket, high ticket. Well, if we take a step back and we look at high ticket versus low ticket, there are really two words that come into my mind. And the first one is long tail conversions and short tail conversions. Short tail conversions are people that buy your product or service within 90 days. Long tail conversions are people who need a bit more nurturing to work with you and adopt your product, right? So if we think about long tail conversions, I want you to think about one very well known marketer. Her name is Alex Catoni, and she absolutely smashed long tail conversions because if you look at her entire strategy, she started with a YouTube video once a week, repurposed it into a blog post, and then over time, she built all this traffic and brought people into her ecosystem with a micro offer, which was her Right to Ignite challenge, where you learn to write a landing page in just 5 days. When I think about short tail conversions versus long tail conversions, I think about something called continuity versus high ticket. So, continuity is my preference, but it does take longer for you to build up your customer base and reach higher levels of income. High ticket, on the other hand, also has its place. This is for when you ascend people and move them from a lower paying customer into a higher paying customer, right? Both of these have their place when we're talking about an advertising ecosystem. My ecosystem for my English courses, it has both. I pull people in with something low, and then over time, as I provide more value, I ascend them into something more. So, how can you set up this ecosystem? The last thing you need is to understand your end goal for your business. What do I mean by this? You cannot do anything that I've mentioned so far until you understand how all the pieces work together. And that starts with building your ecosystem. And I like to do it visually. Before you can build your ecosystem, you need to understand, am I leading with a high ticket offer? Or am I looking at a continuity business that ascends people from lower paying clients into higher paying clients? You can't decide if you want high ticket or continuity until after you understand and build out your promise. And you can't build your promise until you decide that you're going to stop giving away free value that attracts freebie seekers rather than buyers. So as you can see, it all kind of works together to build an ecosystem that will bring you sales. If this ecosystem sounds like something that might be helpful for you in your business, go ahead and drop the word ecosystem below and I'll send you a visual of how this works in my business so you can kind of understand how it works a bit better. All right, guys, my name's Sean. If you thought this video was helpful, go ahead and click the bell button and follow me so you can see more insights and updates like this. See you soon. Bye-bye.
We want more! We want more!